Hi everyone, David here from daviddumaisaudio.com, and in this video I'll be showing you guys how to create a killer video game sound design demo reel. Before we get started though, I want to give you guys something for free. It is my video game sound design demo reel checklist, and you can get that in the description below. Just click on the link. And basically what it is, it's everything that we're going to talk about in this video in a checklist format plus some. So I'm going to give you guys extra tips, extra things to think about as you're creating your sound design demo reel. So if you want to grab that for free, just check the link in the description below. All right, so for this video, I decided to split it into 10 steps or 10 tips for creating your sound design demo reel. So let's go with that. Let's go with number one here that I have, and it's to create quality. Quality is king, quality of your sound design, but it's not only the quality of your sounds and your audio in your sound design demo reel, it's also going to be the quality of your actual demo reel itself, the quality of the video, the quality of your transitions, and everything put together, the quality of everything of the whole package is what actually matters. Basically, what audio directors and whoever is the hiring manager, what they're looking for when you're applying to studios or for a job as a sound designer, is they're looking for if you're good enough to do the job. Is your audio good enough to do the job? So yes, your audio has to be good, but also are you able to tell the story? Are you able to communicate what you're trying to communicate through your sound, through your demo reel? So it's the quality of the sound, it's the quality of how you put it all together, and the quality of your whole demo reel all as a package. All right, so number two, which is going to play off of number one, is to focus only on your best work. So like we said, number one is all you want is quality. Well, for number two, focus on your best work. So whatever clips or games or whatever you're going to show as part of your demo reel, make sure that you're only showing your best work. It doesn't even matter when you created it. It could have been 2 months ago. It could have been 2 years ago. It could have been 20 years ago. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you're showing off your best work for the potential employer or whoever's hiring you to see. All right, number three is to choose 1 to 3 clips or samples from a game that you want to show as part of your demo reel. So this can be anything. It can be any part of the game. It can be cinematics, and it can be also gameplay. Actually, ideally, you would want probably at least one of each so that you can show off both and how you can design sound and audio for both. But yeah, this is what you want, at least 1 to 3 of each. And you want to choose clips that reflect and show the kind of work that you want to do. So for example, if you love doing indie work or you're applying to an indie studio, well, then you'll want to have as part of your demo reel indie games that you've either designed or redesigned. If you're doing something, if you're passionate or your desire is to go work at a AAA studio where they work on first-person shooters, well, then you better have first-person shooter games as part of your demo reel. If you're doing something like adventure games or fantasy games, then you'll want to show that kind of work in as part of your demo reel. So make sure that you tailor your demo reel towards the employer, towards the studio that you want to apply to, and towards the work that you want to get. And the last thing about number three is that you want to make sure that your whatever clips and parts of the games that you're going to show as part of your demo reel, make sure that it tells a story. Make sure that it's not just like a stale, a video of like some guy walking across the screen, for example, and you're just putting on footsteps. I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating here, but make sure that something's happening and you're able to tell a story, or show your ability and potential for sound design in that clip. All right, number 4 is details, details, and details. This is one of the most commonly missed and most obvious mistakes whenever you're watching sound design demo reels, especially from beginners, is that there's missing just so much detail. So this can be everything from what's on screen to what is off of screen. For example, it's really easy to put sound to create sound and put sound to a clip where you might see a guy with a sword and swinging a sword around. Of course, you're going to hear maybe the whoosh, or you're going to hear the hit whenever he's hitting something. But what about everything else that's maybe part of that clip? Like maybe something's falling on the ground, or he just hit somebody or killed a character or something, and then that character falls on the ground. Well, you want to hear that character falling on the ground. There's also a whole bunch of other sounds that you want to think about in terms of detail. So for example, commonly missed sounds would be stuff like ambiances, stuff like room tones, especially when you're going from room to room. You never want it to sound the same. So if your character is in one room, it's moving out into a new room, you want to hear something different. Also, what's not on screen. This is where you can be a little bit more creative and come up with things that maybe maybe they're obviously not on screen, so you can make up something. So maybe there's like a monster in the background, or wind, or I don't know, something that's not obvious or that's not on screen, but that can still tell a story or show your ability to think outside the box and your creativity as to what's happening on the screen for your demo reel. All right, number 5 is to keep the entirety of your sound design demo reel to about a minute, and this is give or take 15 seconds. And yes, this can be kind of relative or subjective. So some people say, well, a minute and a half, 2 minutes doesn't matter, 5 minutes. But from what I've heard and from what I've had people share with me, the consensus is basically 1 minute is good. And what you want to think about, ideally is put yourself in the shoes of the audio director or the hiring manager, whoever's listening to all these demo reels. When they're receiving applications, they're receiving hundreds of applications for one job. So if you think about it, are they really going to sit down and listen to, 100, 200, 300 sound design demo reels that are each 2 to 3 minutes long? Probably not. So you want to keep it short and concise. So a minute is pretty good. So that means that for each clip that you're going to choose, so if you're choosing, between 1 and 3, I usually always aim for 3, then that's about 20 seconds per clip. And, that's a good amount of time to be able to show your ability with that one clip or video game, like gameplay of that one clip. All right, number 6 is to grab your listener's attention. So you have maybe about 3 to 10 seconds to grab your listener's attention. This has been proven by studies, and you don't have very much time. So what you want to do is you put your best work first. Never leave it to the end, because chances are, for most people, the director or whoever's listening to your stuff will not even make it through to your last stuff. So make sure that your absolute best work is at the very beginning of your sound design demo reel. All right, number 7 is to create a short intro and outro to your sound design demo reel. So the whole purpose of this is, number 1 is so that whoever's watching it knows exactly whose demo reel they're watching. Number 2, they can have your contact information. And number 3, you can quickly grab their attention. All right, so a few things that you'll want to include as part of your short intro or outro is a logo if you have any, your website as well, again, if you have any, and you'll want to include your name and a contact. So that can be a phone number if you want, or an email address. And now I actually want to show you guys one that I've created before, so you guys can have an idea of what it looks like. So here is mine. I'm just going to play it for you guys. And that's it. This is my quick intro that I've created. So a few things that you'll notice is, one is I have my name here, I have my email down here, and I have the title of what the video is that whoever's watching it is, because sometimes they might click by something by accident, or they might just not know, or whatever. You just don't want to make it ambiguous or make them guess. So it's clear this is my game audio demo reel. I could have put sound design demo reel. That would have been a bit more accurate. And I added here that I'm a sound designer and composer. That's not necessary, but I did put that in there. So there you have it. This is what mine looks like. And another thing that you'll notice with this one that I didn't mention at the beginning is that for this intro is it's designed, right? I took the opportunity to create some sound design for this logo, and you'll want to do the same. And there's a few reasons for that. Is one, it'll show your creativity for what you can do with something as simple or mundane as text or a short logo, but also it's just to grab the listener's attention. So as soon as you press play, they hear something, they're ready to listen. Also, I've heard it said that if you press play and you don't hear anything, well, the person might be thinking, is my sound on or off? Is my stuff working properly? And they might, turn up the volume, and then suddenly your demo starts, and then it's blasting their ears, and it can just be a really bad experience. So it's just a good idea to add some sound design to your intro and outro. All right, number 8 is to properly identify your footage. So whatever clip or sample that you're going to put as part of your demo reel, make sure you identify it properly. This means getting the name of the game. You'll want to also include the name of the company or studio that developed it, and your contribution or the work that you put into it. So if it's a redesign, make sure you put that it's a redesign. If you actually worked on the game, then you can say that you were the sound designer for the game, or you can also be specific and say what you worked on that's inside the clip. So I'm actually going to show you guys on my computer exactly what I'm talking about and go into a bit more detail with that. All right, so here's an example of just identify your footage properly. So right down here, we have the text. The name of the game is Warframe, and it's the company or the studio that made it is called Digital Extremes, which I put right here. And then just underneath it, in a bit smaller text, I put that I did the foley, the UI, weapon, and ambience redesign. So obviously, I didn't actually work on this game. I'm just doing the redesign for this game. So it's all down here. A few more things that you want to think about here. One, this is probably a little too big. So as you can see, it's taking up a lot of screen real estate. Maybe, it wouldn't hurt to make it a little smaller, just so it's not taking up too much screen real estate. Also, you want to make sure that it's not actually covering anything essential that's part of the demo reel. So, if this character's if this text is covering, the character's weapon or him drawing his weapon or something like that, that might be an issue, because you really want to see that, especially if that's part of the sound design that you're creating. What else is there here? Another one is that you want this in the lower third. As you can see here, I have the player controls down here, and it's not covering up the text here, so that at any point in time I can go and scroll through here, and I can see that this text is always present. Another point here is that this text I keep present for the duration of the clip. So as you can see, as I'm playing through the clip here, the text is always present. And the reason for that is that, if you have somebody going through your demo reel, they might not actually listen from beginning to end in one sitting. They might actually start at the beginning. Okay, this is this person. And they might cut here, listen to a few seconds, and skip over to something else, go here, listen to a few seconds there. And they'll want to know at any point in time, they'll want to know exactly what they're listening to, what they're looking at. So it's nice to always keep this in focus, to keep having this throughout the duration of the clip. Another point to think about is whenever you have this here, make sure that it's not covering up any essential gameplay, and make sure that it's also visible the entire time. So right now it's not an issue because you have, white text on a colored background. But if you have a game that has a white background or something, obviously you're not going to see the text. So make sure that you keep that into consideration, that the text is always visible throughout the duration of the clip. All right, number 9 is to create tasteful transitions. So a few things you'll want to keep in mind here is to avoid audio pops and clicks, especially during transitions. You want to make sure everything's smooth and fading out and fading in properly. And also, in general, you want to avoid harsh video cuts, unless it's really by design and your intent to do that, just in terms of design. You'll want to avoid harsh cuts in video, because it just startles and the viewer doesn't really know what's happening. So it's just something to think about. And I want to show you guys a transition here, just so you guys have an idea of what I mean by when I say tasteful transitions. So you'll want to create something here, creative here. So this is the end of the clip here. I'm just going to play for you guys as it goes into the next clip, so you guys have an idea of what I'm talking about. So hopefully you saw that at the end of this clip, the character is walking into the distance here. So I'm just going to mute it so you guys can see. And then suddenly the next clip appears, and it's almost in the exact same position with the character walking at the exact same place. So, I picked that on purpose so that it could be just a really smooth transition and really seamless and almost not noticeable. So that's what I mean by, tasteful transition. Now, this is not the only way to do it. That's just one way that you can do it, is by doing that. There's, of course, many other ways to do it, but playing with camera angles and camera movement like that is a great way to do it. So, All right, and number 10 is to remove any audio or sounds that you did not create out of your demo reel. You don't want that part of your demo reel. And on top of that, you also don't want any music in your demo reel. Now, some people will, may disagree with that, but in general, what I've found, what I've heard, what I've been, what people have shared with me is that for sound design demo reel, only includes sound design. For if you want to do a music demo reel, do a music demo reel, but keep it separate. Make sure that it's sounds that you have created and only sounds that you've created. Don't make it, just a third-party library sound that you've dragged and dropped into the reel. People know those sounds, especially game audio directors who are really experienced, who may have used those sounds as part of their sound design. They'll be able to pick those out really easily. So it doesn't mean that you can't use them as part of your sound design and use them as layers or whatever else, but don't just drag and drop sounds and call that sound design. It's not the sound design. You'll really want to create your own sounds when you're putting them into the demo reel. All right, so I just wanted to share a few final thoughts and comments about creating a video game sound design demo reel. As we've said before, no sounds that you haven't created before, no music, and no voiceover. So no talking in the video are all safe bets when you're creating your sound design demo reel. Now, there is a place where you want to do that. So for example, if you have a technical demo reel, this would be like where you would want to show how you implemented sounds into a game. Or maybe you want to talk about, go more in depth about your sound design and how you created it or something like that. That's fine, but keep it in a separate video where, if the manager or the hiring manager or the audio director is interested in your work, in what they've seen in the sound design, they can then go to your website or to another page or wherever and see those videos of you talking and describing your work, your process, and whatever else. So speaking of technical demo reel, that's something that you'll probably want to have, especially if you're applying to video game studios. Most of them, if not all of them, require or ask for some sort of experience with Wise or Fmod or Unreal or Unity. So those are great things to have if you can create separate demo reels to show your ability to implement sounds using those. But again, keep those separate from your main sound design demo reel. All right, and the final point here, the final thing I'm going to say is, how are you going to stand out from the rest? I don't really have an answer for this. I think that's part of the fun or being creative with your demo reel is figure out how you're going to be different, how you're going to stand out from everybody else who's going to be submitting applications. So yeah, something to think about, something to spend time thinking about and maybe writing down some ideas of what you can do. But it's just something that you'll want to think about and implement as part of your demo reel. So I think that's it for this video. Again, if you guys enjoyed that, please let me know. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to grab that free PDF checklist, my free PDF video game sound design demo reel checklist that's in the description below. And yeah, if I missed anything, if you guys thought there's something else that you can do for your sound design to make it better, or that's crucial for your demo reel, let me know in the comments. Let everyone know. I'd love to hear from you guys. And I think that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.